B1 family. No reparations for Tulsa victims. Biden signs Asian bill targeting black people. Biden refuses to remove qualified immunity for cops. That's all in today's episode of NBM Live, where we dissect government policies and the mainstream media's depiction of black people and the problems plaguing the black community. Join us and subscribe today for more news. On June 1, 1921, an extremely evil and gruesome crime was committed, at the hands of what the aggressors described as a white mob, but to those who were on the ground, something way more sinister occurred. It appeared to be a collaborative effort between government agencies, white men and women, acting on code to ensure the destruction of the businesses and homes within the Greenwood neighborhood of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The white supremacist extremists, whose actions were commonly minimized by the mainstream media, acted in collaboration and under the direct purview of the Tulsa State Police and government to ultimately execute the economic destruction of the black men, women, and children living in what was then referred to as Black Wall Street, an exclusively black town, thriving in glory. The massacre left over 300 black Americans dead in a single day, compared to the 20 white supremacist attackers. One of the sickening tactics used by the white supremacists in ensuring that maximum casualties were dealt, came in the form of bombs, nitroglycerin to be exact. With the assistance of law enforcement in Tulsa and the state, strips of the town was set ablaze from the sky, when planes were sent to pour nitroglycerin over the black men, women, and children on the ground, engulfing them and their properties in uncontrollable fire. On this day, the white supremacists would have also swarmed and emptied the Black Bank in Tulsa. Many black Americans perished or were displaced. Till this day, far from the first time extreme cruelty was used to suppress the rights of black people in America. Unsure? Look no further. Another act of violence even The Hague might consider a basic definition of human rights violations, occurred in Philadelphia with the MOVE movement, which led to the burning of homes of black Americans. What's worse, hardly any of the large mainstream media platforms like CNN, MSNBC, CBS and definitely not Fox, shed light to it while it was happening. A quick takeaway of the cause of this violence: well, the city of Philadelphia simply felt the need to put an end to harmless hippies in the form of African Americans who chose to start creating infrastructures within their own neighborhood in hopes to achieve self-sustainability when it came to food and economic growth, to thrive within a system they had already identified as racist and detrimental to the empowerment of black people. This was too much for the Philadelphia leadership and government to allow or respect at the heels of segregation, therefore ordered for the bombings of the whole strip of homes, along with the black men, women and children still in them. Until this day, nothing has been done to fix the atrocities that were caused in that massacre either. Biden visited the site of the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, as an intangible symbolic token event, with no substance, as he danced around the issue he caused through various crime bills that only targeted black people.
The night of the massacre, I was awakened by my family. My parents and 5 siblings were there. I will never forget the violence of the white mob when we left our home. I still see black men being shot, black bodies lying in the street. I still smell smoke and see fire. I still see black businesses being burned. I still hear airplanes flying overhead.
Biden made no commitment to provide financial reparation for the direct individuals or descendants of those lost in these events, which are etched in black history, therefore, American history. Biden's administration is starting to experience a sharp fall in approval rating within the overall black community, ever since he passed an anti-Asian hate crime bill, aimed at targeting predominantly black people, under the disguise that the increase in crimes by homeless individuals towards Asians are being perpetrated by black people in America. Even with mainstream media promoting this false narrative, many in the Asian community have also pointed the hypocrisy from their community and false narrative this is.
My experience was that, whoever actually attacked and, looting the Koreatown was not African Americans.
It's important to point out that many researchers have debunked this assumption to be false. Simply put, you can literally point to the number of Asian businesses located in black neighborhoods, compared to the increased crimes the small Asian population in the United States has, and continues to commit in the black community. Some might remember the case of Latasha Harlins, a young teen shot in the head at 3 feet by an Asian store owner, while heading towards the exit of the store. Derek Chauvin's police colleague and co-defendant Tu Tao, Peter Liang, and these numerous and countless attacks on black women and children in Asian hair salons. There have been no bills labeling these hate crimes against black people. We will shed light on these stories individually on this channel, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also remember to turn your notifications on so you're alerted when we release new videos daily. The white supremacist terror attack on the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. on January 6 are regular occurrences in public or in places of business, with black people being the targets in most of the cases, yet Biden continues his policy of benign neglect on black people in America, a policy that was exposed as a tactic ordered by Hillary Clinton during her email scandal when she ran for president. In conclusion, the Tulsa Massacre was over 100 years ago, yet black people in America still face the same issues their ancestors faced, and when it's time to vote, they're being sold on possibilities, and never concrete tangible changes. Even worse, the pandemic exposed the disparity and lack of aid to black businesses, compared to those of any other race group here in the U.S. Just remember, there were more than 1,400 homes and businesses burned, and nearly 10,000 people were left homeless or displaced, in one day of attacks on black people after the Tulsa Massacre was over. It has been over 100 days since Biden took office. Where is the George Floyd bill? With the abolished qualified immunity black Americans have been asking, and now fighting for over 400 years. Did you vote for Joe Biden?